welcome to another TSW news update. We're looking at an update for the MPTA commuter launch, which came out 3 days ago, the article, and then we're going to have a look at the West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle coming soon, which was released 19 hours ago from recording of this video. So, we got hello everyone. After discussion with our teams regarding the release of the MPTA commuter add-on, which was originally scheduled for launch on the 29th of October, we have made the decision to delay the release until the 12th of November. Well done, DDG are finally listening. If something is not good enough to come out by release date, then delay it. We don't mind you delaying a route if it comes out proper and not half-assed. So, well done to DDG for finally listening to the community. For those excited to see more on the route, we understand that delays can be frustrating, but this is extra time will allow our dev team to ensure that everything is polished as possible. Believe me, if you get it right, we do not mind it being delayed. Oh, excuse me. Thank you for your patience and understanding as we take this time to make sure you're getting a positive experience from this route. As a result, the MPTA commuter preview livestream will also be pushed back to the 5th of November. Remember, the 5th of November. I think they should do it on the 6th, the 4th. I don't think they should do it on the 5th of November. Everyone's going to be looking at fireworks. We'll be showcasing more of this route closer to this time with a second article providing more in-depth details on what to expect from TSW5's first add-on since launch. Until then, we'll continue listening to your feedback and we look forward to showing off more MPTA content when it's ready. Thank you. Right, on to the juicy bit of this news video. West Coast Main Line, Preston to Carlisle, coming soon. This is a route I am excited about and will hopefully be able to get on launch. It does look really good so far. Tap into the 1980s nostalgia and run up Just Train's stunning and immersive West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle, coming on the 21st of November to Train Sim World 5. Introducing Just Trains and West Coast Main Line Overshap. Just Trains are one of our partner program developers who work on their own routes and locomotives for Train Sim World. Last year, Just Trains made their TSW debut with the release of the Blackpool Branches route add-on, featuring the Class 142 Pacer DMU. Look at that, that is looking nice. I'm not a big fan of the 101s. I'm not that keen on driving them, to be honest. But we'll see. Hopefully they're not. This is Carlisle Station here, by the way. We've got the 87s there as well. That I am looking forward to driving, the 87s. So you've got two 87s there. Two 101s in the picture. And there is another train on the track next to the platform of the 101. But I can't see it because this 87 is blocking its view. I know it's a coach, an intercity coach, but I can't see whether that's the end of the train or the start of it. Can't tell from there. For their next release, they continue to push the boundaries by developing the longest UK route in a Train Sim world and introducing more sought-after rolling stock with a Class 87 locomotive and MK3A coaches. A full timetable of 1980s services features in the add-on, along with conductor mode, functionality, and plenty of layering for players that own other routes and locomotive add-ons set in and around the same era. There's a lot to get into, so below find a summary of the rolling stock, route and gameplay elements that you can look forward to. So we got the rolling stock Class 87/0 electric locomotive, that's one on the screen is the City of Liverpool, plus BRMK3A coaches, FFA/FGA container flats and BBA steel wagons. That is a nice picture of a very misty night. I think that's Carlisle Station as well. It's looking really good. New to Train Sim World is the Class 87 electric locomotive, the first electric locomotive to be added to the British fleet in-game. The class traction from the 1970s quickly became the start of the West Coast Main Line during the 1980s, when the nationalised British Rail branding was widespread across the entire UK rail network. In-game, the Class 87 will provide a totally unique driving experience in Train Sim World. An advanced style of operation offers a real challenge to players familiar with more modern electric units and diesel locomotives, and it's equally distant from a large roster of electric locomotives seen in German add-ons. Again, I think that's in colour. Nice picture there. Intercity coaches as well. You can see some mail coaches, like Royal Mail coaches there at the right hand side. Further on, got some a freight train being pulled there as well. Picture does look nice, but as we know from Train Sim World, pictures can be deceiving. But seeing as this is a Just Trains route, I'm betting it does look this good. So can't wait for this. It's really exciting. Excuse me just 1 second while you look at that picture. I'll quickly send a quick text out. In Just Train's own words, this loco takes you back to the much more interesting time when you drove a bit more by the seat of your pants and had to think and plan a lot more. At the centre of this tap-changing operation, this phase will be familiar to players of some of the older German locomotives in TSW, like the BR-103 and the 111. With this comes a degree of jeopardy, with the potential to fail if not operated correctly. The main circuit breaker, MCB, will trip, cutting power to the drive motors if you try and demand higher power than the train can supply. You can see inside of the cab here. In addition to this, the Class 87 has a number of notable and unique features. Authentic neutral section operation, unique in Train Sim World. I'm not a big fan of neutral section. I don't understand any of it or the signs for it, or when you... Does the power cut off automatically, or do you have to cut the power and then put power back on at a certain stage? It's all confusing to me, so hopefully that'll be part of the training. Fully accessible loco corridor, machine room, including operating controls. You can walk fully between the cab ends, that's brilliant. Not been able to do that in Train Sim World yet. Fully authentic sound set supplied by Armstrong Powerhouse. A unique and large number of locomotive nameplates included. Includes 2 liveries, I'm guessing the BR bluish green and the intercity colours, hopefully. Locomotive operating tutorials. Ability to start from a totally dead state. Realistic simograph train dynamics based on real world data. Just Trains have also employed the use of a real world Class 87 engineer to ensure the authenticity of the in-game driving experience. Again, all the other third-party developers and DTG themselves should take note. This is how you make a route. Oh, I was right. Look at that in the intercity colours. They've done it grainier, so it looks like an old photo. That's really cool. Using Train Sim World 5's new photo mode improvements can make for some excellent prototypical shots of the era, such as this taken by product marketing coordinator James. Through today, they have since been replaced by the more modern EMUs. A single mainline certificate example of the Class 87 still sees rail tour action along the West Coast Main Line, much to the delight of enthusiasts. Players with Train Sim World 5's core West Coast Main Line route, London to Euston, Milton Keynes, will be able to use free roam to run rail tour services in a modern setting. So DTG are too lazy to add the rail tour into timetable, is basically what they're saying. Yet again, DTG just does not put in the effort. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. DTG should be putting that in the timetable for London, Euston, Milton Keynes. Not just adding it to free roam. That. As always, DDG continues to let people down. Players of Deluxe Edition may also wish to operate the Class 390 on Just Trains stretch of the West Coast Main Line in free roam, a bit during an era from before these trains were introduced. You can read more about the development of the Class 87 in a future Just Trains in Development blog. That's on the Just Trains website. Please go check out their website. It has a lot of information and a lot of screenshots. I think we're on an intercity coach here. You can see a 101 in the station there. I'm not sure where this station is. I can't really... I think that's Preston. I think that says Preston out there, up in the window there. Yeah, I think it is Preston. Also new to Trainsim World are the eagerly awaited MK3A passenger coaches, which were permitted to achieve a slighter higher speed, 110 miles per hour, over the MK2 variants, which were only designed to go at 100 miles per hour. BR Class 101 DMU. This goes to the branch line to Morecambe, as you can see on the train there, as it was not electrified, it was diesel only. Hopefully we get the Pacers in there as well, that would be really cool. Running alongside the high-speed express service are local trains served by the Class 101 DMU, as previously seen in the Northern Transpennine and Tees Valley Line route add-ons. I'm going to have to start driving the 101 in the Transpennine Tees Valley just to get up to date with it. These classic first generation DMUs from the 1950s ran through until 2003 and saw action across a large number of main and branch lines including North West. I didn't know they lasted until 2003. That's impressive. So just over 50 years of service. Wow. I didn't realise they lasted that long. For the West Coast Main Line, Preston Carlisle release, the Class 101 has been worked on to provide a number of improvements on previous releases. This includes addition of suspension physics, enhanced audio, updated interior textures, updated destination blinds, exhaust smoke effects. It's a shame these improvements will not be implemented into the R formation routes of Transpennine and Tees Valley. It would be good if those improvements were put onto them as well. The Class 101 DMU is included in the West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle route add-on. Players do not need to own previously released content to access these cars. Then we've got the BR Class 08 Shunter, offering up shunting gameplay in the dependable Class 08 Shunter. This ubiquitous legend has seen action across 8 decades, from its original use in depots and yards frequented by steam locomotives, through to use in the privatisation movement and continued use on mainline yards into the 21st century. It's a bit like Diesel from Thomas the Tank Engine. It's that kind of engine, isn't it? See an 87 in the background doing some freight work there as well. Class 08 services will occupy the yards and stations at Preston and Carlisle, providing a shorter, more engaging style of gameplay that involves moving stock between roads and getting trains ready for haulage by other locomotives. So there's no improvements done to the Class 08, it's just the same as previous iterations. The Class 08 Shunter is included in the West Coast Main Line Preston Carlisle route add-on. Players do not need to own previously released content to access the cars. The BR Class 47/4 diesel locomotive, as you can see there. We do get this in the Blackpool branches route, don't we? As you can see it going along in the dark there, or a misty morning maybe. For players wanting a familiar locomotive to operate between Preston and Carlisle, the Class 47/4 returns. Have been seen in multiple train sim route add-ons in various guises, including Blackpool branches. The difference in operation between this and the Class 87 will offer two distinctive experiences for players along the length of the route, and a way for players to learn the route prior to taking on the challenge of the Class 87. I'm actually better at driving the Class 87 than I am at the 47, to be honest with you, on Train Sim Classic. So that should be interesting to see the difference on Train Sim World. You see the 47 there as well. I think that is the MK2 coaches. Like the Blackpool branches variants, these locomotives feature nameplate and livery variations, as well as some smoke effects improvements and visual differences over some of the older versions from previous TSW add-ons, including suspension physics. The Class 47/4 diesel locomotive is included in the West Coast Mainline Preston to Carlisle route add-on. Players do not need to own previously released content to access these cars. The route Preston-Carlisle plus Morecambe branch. With almost 100 miles of track included, West Coast Mainline Preston to Carlisle is the longest UK route in Train Sim World. This dramatic and high-speed stretch of line forms part of the much longer real-world West Coast Main Line extending from London Euston through to Scotland. Wouldn't it be nice if all these 80s routes and steam routes were updated to modern era as well? That would be cool. So we'd get a modern version of West Coast Main Line Overshap, modern version of Blackpool Preston, and a modern version of Liverpool to Crewe. That would be cool. And of course, modern versions of Tees Valley Line and Northern Transpennine. Totally went out my head then. Preston will be familiar to players of Just Train's previous route add-on on Blackpool branches, who will be able to make use of Train Sim World 5's new route hopping feature to port between the two add-ons. From here, the West Coast Main Line continues to extend north, facilitating gameplay down to the next station on the line, Lancaster. The northern city, whose name links to the most famous House of Lancaster and the wider county of Lancashire, is also where a branch line splits off for some additional short-form gameplay to the seaside town of Morecambe via Bear Lane. And I think that's Lancaster Station there. I think the shorter platforms is the Morecambe branch line, where the longer platforms are for the intercity express trains and the stopper trains. I'm guessing that 40 is pulling along a stopper, where the 87 and the 47 will be more express. I'm guessing the 47 will be a semi-fast, while the 87 will be the express one, I'm guessing. But it makes sense for this, for the longer platforms to be for the stopper, semi-fast and express trains, because it's longer platforms, more coaches, where the shorter platforms will be the Morecambe branch, and I can't see overhead wires for that either, so it would make more sense for the 101s to be on the shorter side, wouldn't it? Nice picture, that's looking good. Trains will pass through Cornforth Station, where, during this era, the Steamtown Museum was located. Oxholme further north then provides the real-world jumping-off point for passengers keen to explore the Lake District. On this stretch of the famous Shep Summit, we'll provide a challenge for those driving any kind of traction climbing up the highest point of the West Coast main line. Another shot here with a 47 and 87 in the sidings there, and 08 Workington tankers, and a truck on the road. After a call at Peneth towards the northern end of the Lake District, players will reach the city of Carlisle, which not only features the station but also the nearby Kingmore depot. You can read more about the real-world history of some of the stations and locations in Just Trains in development blog. That's on their website. And there's another, I said in the last video, on Just Trains' website you've got the West Coast Mainline Preston Carlisle Trains in Mod 5 timetable time lapse. It's on the Just Trains YouTube channel. Go check that out, please. The timetable for this portion of the West Coast Mainline will depict a full 24-hour weekday based on the working timetables from that era and trip notice booklet for the region. This will use the available rolling stock to feature high-speed express trains running from Preston through to Carlisle, as well as local, main and freight services, including the Morecambe branch line. Also featuring is up to 6 hours of shunting gameplay at Carlisle using the Class 08 in multiple trip workings. I'm sure they'll allow shunting gameplay down in Preston as well. Additional service layers. You can see a steam train going across that. In addition, the timetable will be further filled with services and substitutions from other Train Sim World add-ons. Players with other add-ons in their collective will be able to see and operate the following services on West Coast Mainline Preston to Carlisle. Blackpool branches for the Class 142 DMU and TE8 wagons. West Cornwall Local for the Sea Cow and Tugboat wagons. Tees Valley Line for the HEA wagons. Northern Transpennine for the Class 45 diesel locomotives. Spirit of Steam for the LMS Jubilee steam locomotive. MK1 coaches. 16-ton mineral wagon and 20-ton brake van. BR Heavy Freight Pack for the Class 40 diesel locomotive. BR Class 31 local add-on for the Class 31 and PCA wagons. BR Class 20 local add-on for the Class 20 and PGA wagons, and the LNER Class A3 60103 Flying Scotsman. Due to technical limitations of 8th generation consoles, the level of some of the available features is reduced, and a separate reduced timetable will be available to players on these consoles. And we've got a Class 47, getting refueled here. So scenarios. There are 5 scenarios in West Coast Mainline Preston to Carlisle. It's interesting whether it's Just Trains making these scenarios, or is it DDG making the scenarios? That will be an interesting bit of information to find out. So, broken down, Class 47/4. An express train has fouled at Penrith and requires rescuing. Starting at Kingmore Depot, you'll be briefed by a member of staff before finding your rescue locomotive. A cold start will be performed before meeting the fouled Class 87. Tap Changer, Class 87/0. Hold a passenger service between Preston and Carlisle on a winter day. No doubt a few snow flurries will occur along the way, so be extra vigilant with the braking as you call at Lancaster, Oxenholme and Peneth before the final stop of Carlisle. Curragh Collection, Class 08. Curragh is located in the southwest of Carlisle Station. It has dictated wagon works shed which oversees many repairs to rolling stock on a regular basis to ensure they are fit for service. Your task is to convoy a mixed rake of BBA steel wagons along with FFA/FGA container flats to the works at Kingmore. On arrival, you'll find a fresh set of wagons waiting to be returned back to Kingmore. 87 there. Southbound liner, class 870. All a heavy container train from Carlisle North Yard south to Preston. You'll be looped at several places along the way. The weather is booked to be sun with patchy cloud along the way. And first generation stopper, class 101 3-car diesel multiple unit. Join a class 101 at Cornforth Station, working the last leg of the surface from Leeds to Morecambe via Lancaster. During this evening rush hour, you will run back in surface again in the reverse direction as far as Cornforth. Cool. I know it's got 5 scenarios, but I would have liked them to add scenarios for players that have additional TSW content. So I'd like to have seen a scenario with the Pacer, for example. That would be nice, so that, unlocks if you've got the Pacer, if you've got Blackpool branches, or when you do get it, then it'll be unlocked for you to then be able to do that scenario. That would be good. Join a class, or at a later point, if they do scenario packs like they used to do in Tracing Classic, where they can then do scenarios for trains in other workings, in other routes. So say they do a scenario patch for the Pacer. You could have it for scenarios on Blackpool branches, of course, for the Cornwall line. You know the one I mean, don't you? And I even done a video on it the other day using a Pacer a few videos ago. The Penzance route. You could do a scenario 2 for that and scenario 2 for this route as well. But it's, and you could do that with other trains as well, obviously. Collectibles. So this is Bear Lane Station, and you can see the level crossing there as well. And you've got a signal box you go into. The door is open, so I'm guessing you can go in there. You've got a waiting room on the right hand side there as well. There will also be these collectibles to hunt down, including parcel trolleys, miniature castles, route maps, mint cake, oh that sounds nice, which nearby Kendal is famous for, and rail tour posters. Some of these will be located in explorable buildings and locations, including fully modelled signal boxes at selected places on this route. Finding it tricky to get all these locations during your session, you can of course cheat, sort of, by using Train Sim World 5's new fast travel feature to immediately go back to locations where you may have missed a collectible. Mystery Challenge. Mystery challenges require you to perform certain tasks on a route, like completing certain scenarios or travelling to a certain number of miles in a specific location. Tier 1 challenges unlock useless decals for use in livery design, which nobody uses. Tier 2 challenges unlock toggable scenario tiles, like could be a fairground, it could be static trains, stuff like that. Train Sim World 5 West Coast Mainline Preston and Carlisle route add-on will release on the 21st of November for Xbox One, Xbox Series XX, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and Epic Games Store and Steam. They should really drop Xbox One and PlayStation 4 now. And it will be a staggering £32.99, €39.99, or $44.99. Yeah, I'm not going to be getting this when it comes straight out now. £32.99. I know they have overheads and everything, but £32.99. I mean, that's got to be the most expensive Train Sim World add-on yet, hasn't it? If I'm not mistaken. I don't think it should cost more than £29.99. It shouldn't cost more than £29.99, and whatever that the equivalent for that is for euros and dollars. Especially when we're living in a period of time where we have the cost of living crisis still going on. That is ridiculous. I'm sorry, Just Trains. I love you guys. I love the routes you do on Train Sim Classic and Train Sim World, but that is absolutely ridiculous. And I will now not be getting it on day one. I will now wait until that's released on a discount. So I will be getting that on a sale. I will not be getting that now, day one, like I was planning to. Well, it's 21st of November, so technically I wouldn't have been able to get it until the end of November when I get paid. Why they do it like on the 21st of November? Why not just do it either at the end of a month, like when most people get paid, or at the start of the month, which is just after most people get paid? That would make more sense. So yeah, I'm quite disappointed in the price, and I'm disappointed that I'm now going to have to wait until I'm able to play the game. It's a shame because it all looks so amazing, but £32.99 it's just too much for a Train Sim Route add-on. I know people saying, well, you're only angling over £2, but £2 quid's £2 quid. £2 for me is the difference between getting some milk and bread and 2 cans of small beans, you know? I'm absolutely disappointed. Absolutely disappointed. Keep an eye out for further articles, videos and previews between now and release date, both here on Dovetail Live and on the Just Trains in Development blog. That's on the Just Trains website. Go check it out. You'll be able to join the Railfan TV team on YouTube and Twitch on the 14th of November for a preview of West Coast Mainline Preston Carlisle featuring a member of the Just Trains team. I don't look at the previews because when I actually do the route myself, when I finally get around to getting it now, I like to do it live so you get my reaction live as I play it. Find out more about Train Sim World 5 by following at Train Sim World on Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch and TikTok. Dovetail Live, join the discussion. Images displayed in this article may depict content that is still in development. The licensed brands may not have been approved by their respective owner, and some artwork may still be pending approval. So there you go. What do you think of the route? What do you think of the information, the pictures that we've seen, screenshots that we've seen so far, and what do you think of the price? I know a lot of people will be quite disappointed with that price, to be honest with you, in the Train Sim World community. But for me, it is just too much. I can't afford that. I just cannot afford that. It's disappointing. And on that sad note, feel free to like, comment and subscribe. Hit the bell notification to go up to date with all future content. And I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye for now. And take care.